Snowflakes drifted silently through the dark alley as little Emily walked beside her loyal police dog, Rex, heading home from her aunt's house. It should have been an ordinary night until Rex suddenly froze. His ears shot up, his tail stiffened. A deep growl rose from his chest. "Rex, what is it?" Emily whispered. The German Shepherd didn't blink. Instead, he pulled Emily forward, hard toward a narrow passage behind an old brick building. Emily hesitated, and then she saw them. She froze. 2 FBI officers were slumped against the wall, hands and feet tightly tied, snow covering their frozen lips. Their skin was pale. Their bodies barely moved. "Rex, are they alive?" she whispered. She didn't know it yet, but what would unfold in the next 10 minutes would change everything and reveal a truth far darker than anyone imagined. What happened next shocked everyone. Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. Snow crunched softly beneath Emily's boots as she walked home, her gloved hand resting on Rex's thick fur for warmth. The night was quiet, too quiet. Street lights flickered through the swirling flakes, and the bitter wind bit at Emily's cheeks. Rex, her loyal police dog companion, stayed close to her side, his breath forming white clouds in the freezing air. "Almost home, boy," Emily whispered, pulling her coat tighter. But Rex suddenly stopped, his entire body stiffened, ears pointed, tail locked. A deep, low growl rolled out of his chest, one Emily had never heard before. "Rex, what's wrong?" she whispered, fear prickling her skin. Rex didn't look at her. His eyes were fixed on a narrow alley between 2 old brick buildings. Then, without warning, he pulled the leash from her hand and bolted forward. "Rex, wait." Emily hesitated before running after him. Her small boots slipped on the icy ground, but she pushed forward, heart pounding in her chest. Rex turned into the alley, then stopped abruptly. Emily caught up and gasped, frozen in place. 2 people sat, slumped against the wall, FBI jackets, covered in snow, hands and feet tied tightly, frost forming on their lips. Emily's breath hitched. "Rex, are they alive?" Emily took a shaky step toward the 2 bodies, snow crunching beneath her boots. The FBI letters on their jackets were barely visible under the frost. Their heads hung forward, breaths shallow, or maybe not there at all. For a moment, Emily couldn't breathe. "Hello, can you hear me?" she whispered, her voice trembling. Rex didn't wait. He rushed to the first agent, a woman, sniffing urgently before nudging her shoulder with his nose. No response. Rex waited, then turned to the second agent, a man, and pressed his head against the man's chest. A weak, faint sound escaped the agent's cracked lips. "They're alive," Emily gasped. She reached for her pocket. No signal, not even one bar. The alley was a dead zone. One of the agents suddenly twitched, his eyes flickered open just long enough to whisper, "Run. They're still here." Then he collapsed again. Emily froze, her heart pounding so loudly she could hear it echo off the brick walls. "Rex, what does he mean?" she whispered. Rex growled and stepped in front of her, his body rigid, his gaze fixed deeper into the alley's darkness. Something or someone was watching them. The alley felt colder now, too cold. Emily wrapped her arms around herself as Rex stepped forward, muscles tight, scanning every shadow. The wind hissed between the buildings, carrying a faint metallic scent that made Rex snarl deep in his throat. Emily swallowed hard. Rex, what do you see? He didn't look back. Instead, he lowered his head and followed a set of footprints half buried in the snow. Large, heavy prints leading behind a dumpster just a few steps away. Emily's breath fogged the air. Someone was here. A soft clink echoed. Metal against metal. Rex lunged forward, barking so sharply that Emily stumbled backward. Something moved behind the dumpster. A dark blur slipping deeper into the shadows. Emily's pulse shot through her ears. Then she heard it, a whisper. Low, raspy, close. She shouldn't be here. Emily gasped and crouched behind Rex as he positioned himself in front of her, teeth bared, fur bristling. Snowflakes fell silently, but everything else felt loud. Her heartbeat, Rex's growl, the crunch of hidden footsteps circling them. The criminals weren't gone. They were still here, watching, waiting, and Rex knew exactly where they were hiding. Rex's growl deepened as he stepped forward, blocking Emily with his body. The hidden figure slipped farther into the shadows, but Rex didn't chase. He turned back to the FBI agents, letting out a sharp bark, as if reminding Emily of something more urgent. They're getting worse, Emily whispered, kneeling beside them. The woman's lips were turning blue. The man's breathing became shallow and uneven. Snowflakes landed on their still faces, melting slowly. We have to help them, Emily murmured. Rex suddenly nudged her coat hard. Then he barked twice and sprinted deeper into the alley. Confused, Emily followed him until he stopped near a trash can, pawing at the snow beneath it. What is it? She breathed. She brushed away the snow and uncovered a small vial cracked open. Its contents spilled across the ground. A strange powder clung to the ice. Poison. Her heart pounded nearby. Rex dug frantically until he revealed something else. A drop burner phone, buried under snow. Emily grabbed it and pressed the power button. It flickered on. A signal, 1 bar, then 2. Her voice trembled as she dialed emergency services. Please. We found 2 FBI agents. They're dying. Rex stood guard beside her, ears raised, watching the darkness. Because the danger wasn't over. Not even close. Emily's call had barely connected when Rex's ear snapped forward. He spun toward the far end of the alley, teeth bared. A deep warning growl rumbling through his chest. Emily froze, clutching the phone. Then she heard it. Footsteps fast, heavy. A shadowy figure emerged from behind the dumpsters. Then another. 2 men in dark clothing, faces half covered, sprinted toward them through the snow. There they are, one hissed. Emily gasped and stumbled backward. Rex leaped in front of her, barking with terrifying force. The nearest man swung a metal pipe toward him, but Rex dodged and lunged, clamping onto the man's arm and dragging him into the snow. Get the girl, the second man shouted. Emily backed up until she hit the brick wall, fear choking her throat. The man lunged, but Rex was faster. He released his first target and launched himself like a bullet, slamming into the attacker and knocking him flat. Emily scrambled to her feet, shaking. In the distance, sirens, bright red and blue lights, flashed against the alley walls as police vehicles skidded to a stop. Hands up! Don't move! Officers shouted. The criminals froze. Surrounded. Rex stood panting, snow on his fur, watching them with unblinking eyes. He had protected Emily and saved the agent's only chance at survival. Paramedics rushed past Emily, kneeling beside the two FBI agents and immediately working to stabilize them. Warm blankets were wrapped around their bodies, oxygen masks pressed to their faces. One medic looked up at Emily with astonishment. If you didn't find them when you did, they wouldn't have survived another 10 minutes. Emily swallowed hard, her small hand resting on Rex's back. Rex found them, she whispered proudly. The agents were carefully lifted onto stretchers. As they were carried toward the ambulance, the female agent stirred, her eyes fluttering open just enough to see Emily. You and your dog saved us, she whispered before slipping back into unconsciousness. The FBI supervisor approached Emily's mother, his voice heavy with emotion. They were investigating a dangerous organization. The criminals poisoned them and left them to die. Your daughter and her K9 friend just cracked the case wide open. Emily looked up at Rex, who sat tall, despite the exhaustion in his eyes. The supervisor knelt and patted Rex's head gently. He isn't just a police dog. Tonight, he said softly, he's a hero. Emily hugged Rex tightly, tears filling her eyes. And as the agents were taken away and the alley cleared, one thing became clear. A little girl and her loyal dog had changed the ending of a story that was almost tragic and turned it into a miracle worth remembering.